Hello everybody, and welcome to another screencast of Unconventional Forex Trading. And it's been a long time that I am not publishing a video. I was under pressure for some jobs and some projects, of course, expert advisors development. And in the meantime, I also received a lot of emails from you, so I thank you for following me. And in this session, I will also answer to some questions that I find repeatedly in my email, so maybe this way certain things at least can be clarified a bit more. And also I would like to give a kind of update in regards to the algorithm that I am developing since a while. The point is that it's quite hard to instruct a computer to take action while instead to tell a computer to show you the situation that it is quite simple. So basically I am running some optimizations that will take some time for adapting at the best the algorithm to work as an auto robot. Despite the fact that I am against robot trading, I think that robot trading is very useful the moment that it helps you to project already some kind of decisions in regards to financial instrument. Therefore, it's become easier for us, even for manual traders, to then better positions their orders that have already anyway forecast by an algorithm itself. The algorithm that I'm showing you today, I call it U.F.O, which is Unconventional Forex Observer. In real, there are 5 algorithms, 5 expert advisors in it, and it's meant for institutions, brokers, or anyway huge entities. But I, of course, trying also to develop something, as I told you about my website, to sell soon, even if I got some delays, because of course some of you they can wait, and they will wait for a standardized version that anyway will be quite tailored. Otherwise I would have sell it in in the normal market where you see and you go and purchase all the EAs that are actually available for MT-Trader. But majority of my time has to follow the priority of those of you that have urgencies and that ask me privately, to realize some expert advisors based on your ideas, or maybe also on my technology or the way I am representing the things. But anyway, these priorities put some delay with my final goal to have also some assets, with the standardized versions. But in real, this is not a standard way, to trade. I have my own way to trade based on my science, on my math, on my understanding of the forex market and study. That took a while, took some years. So what you are getting in this view that now I'm showing you how do I operate. Basically what is represented in the charts, it's exactly a kind of WYSI. So what you see is what is calculated. This means that every chart will put some kind of graphics. Let's say now here, because I have closed the algorithm, I closed the Metatrader, and then when it opened it refreshed it. So these are the last graphics that are created, and every graphic has a meaning that I will not explain, of course, in this video, but it's more something for a detailed insight that I will do probably in the future, because at this moment I'm running some optimizations for injecting the orders by the robot. And as you can see, I'm running on about 30 pairs. I started run this algorithm on the 6th of this month. Now we are the 10th, and let's just take a look on how the things are working. I'm also running another diversified algorithm, which is with another demo platform, in order to make some comparisons or actions that the algorithm takes. Here you see it took some buys, and then look, the price is going this way, and with a separate optimization strategy. But as you can see, there are some positions that are running negatively, even sometimes consistently if you think, take them alone. But in the majority of cases, this is a more recent algorithm that I started on today. This is just today put on. So today, with lots of 0.01, the hedging of all the positions together provide me this, and this is another testing, of course, another version. The major version that I'm studying and that I'm trying to optimize since last week is generating this kind of positioning. Some positions are, in the middle, start there, and they didn't started yet. They are in a lateral phase, in accumulation phase, but in the overall working of all the performances, the results are quite interesting and positive. And normally when you launch the algorithm in itself, it generates only, in this case we have only buys at this moment, okay, but it generates only pending orders. So every time you want to let me just put some space so that you can see also better. Every time then you want to check your orders and decide what trades to inject or not. It's just that you have to run the algorithm in the morning and then let it work for a while, because it makes a lot of calculations for each and every currency pair. See here, I got a buy these days, and then you work again on a buy. It's not very precise, but with the volatility is always something very difficult, especially when there are some days where the price is just oscillating between a high and a low, very restricted areas without trend. But I got also this very nice, let's see, other currency pairs like this. Look at sell on Friday, and then another sell here, and then here today I got, in this day, nothing has been injected, but only a buy limit that will anyway stop and take profit, and at the same time will inject a buy in the other direction, because it's time, accordingly to my calculations, somehow to, maybe it will go down a little bit more, but I will have anyway the profit from these trades. Let me just maybe do a little thing, because I received some emails that were asking me about showing also some back testing. There are certain things that can be back tested, other things that can only live tested anyway. Let me just show you how it works. In this case, I'm using the GBP Australian dollar, and of course we have to take some precautions, in the sense that the algorithm tends not to work very well at the end of the month. So normally you don't have to trade at the end of the month, but this is also for other reasons, not only for good behavior. Unless you have a clear idea, you have already in a good position. And of course at this moment it's running 24 hours, but I am limiting that on not trading in the very first hours of the day, where the signals, maybe they are already present, but they are too much earlier, so you take a positioning that leads a drawdown. But let's say that from 3 o'clock in the morning the algorithm can start to generate positions, and in this case, of course, you see a completely empty chart, because I need an empty chart to see everything that I am calculating. Also, you see a lot of calculations here that then are reflected in the action. And as you can see, there are generates both sells and buy orders, but then they are also closed. And I decided to split the 0.10 lot in lots of 0.01 so that you can have a better positioning. And of course, in this case, we are not running the algorithm in the very first hour in the morning, and anyway, it will have limitations on these hours, because we know these hours we have the highest spreads and it's not very convenient to trade. Of course, the price action, we can see it here, okay, and we can see how the algorithm behave itself. So the moment I start the day and I see that there are generate some buy orders, then I decide maybe to take action manually and then make a manual trade. But I have already, look here, I got already all this profit, and automatically has been started a sell order on the other direction. And by doing this, I have closed the positions. Of course, if the positions is running against, there will be a little stop loss, and so in this case not profit, but that will be very limited, because there will be an opening on the opposite direction, but not like reversing. It's just thinking about a price level appropriate for doing this. The algorithm is quite accurate. It's about 85%, 85 to 90%, but of course it takes also some kind of instructions, because it's not something that is standardized. It's not something that you can read in the books. It's something that it's my math applied, because for example, look, in this case the price is still rising up, and probably, you know, by understanding that at this level it's being closed at the top, I could have, you know, decided to, these buy limits are still there. But anyway, if we have to take an average profit, we know that if we compare robot trading with the human trading, by having the same conditions of understanding of the market, the same information, the human will trade better than the robot, by having the same information, of course. So the compromise is to have a platform that every morning while you launch it, it gives you an insight on what you are going to trade on all the currency pairs together, because this is what it is, and then decide what is the trade to do. Okay, here we see that without missing, with the missing of this close, probably with the positioning with a bit of more space in the offset pips of stop or limit order, I would have anyway reached these positions of closing orders, maybe realizing a bit higher profit. But anyway, even if I had some 25 pips of, how much is this, of drawdown, in this case 34 pips, then it's correctly reading the movement. Of course, I don't have time to make the test in real here, but I'm doing a lot of tests on every currency pairs, even if the majority of the work is done in real time, because only in real time you can see how the currencies are behaving together, and how they can, you know, correlate depending on the hour of the day and the price action and the general setup of the market for the day. So this algorithm is based on multiple concepts. Some of them you can find them in my previous videos, where I am explaining the theories that I'm basing these algorithms, plus another concept that I had developed recently that but puts in relation base and quote of a financial instrument. And I hope that this will give me in the future result also for other maybe commodities or other financial instrument that can be traded. But for now, I'm stay stick to the foreign exchange market. Some of your questions were regarding the fact, why am I doing this? So why am I putting this knowledge here and this way, and why I'm not completing my website yet? It's just, guys, that it takes some time, and I have my priorities. I have already my work of doing algorithms on demand. So if you have really rush or whatever, you have to contact me, and then we can arrange some scheduling if you need mentoring or you need an algorithm or my technology, and we can discuss. The moment I will have more time, and also with my other business that I'm working with, and I will have the proper time to set up also, that will be my pleasure and also my need to do that, so that I can get rid of some work. But in that case, I also have to prepare a standardized version for retail. But anyway, I'm always available. If you have some kind of urgency, you can contact me and we can discuss that without any problem. So I hope that this gives an idea of how the algorithm is working. And at this moment, we are exactly at the new start of the day. So there will be a big mess in regards to, okay, let's see here, of course, look, and here I also took other profit in sell, and then it's go in and buy. So it's quite accurate in the readings, maybe not very precise, but that is something that we can figure out and make a lot of positive, income from this. So let's go back for a while. Let's see how it's developing. Here is losing a bit at this moment. Let me check. Yeah, but anyway, it's just an overall test, and then of course this is a demo version, and then of course you can reply. So that's what I do. The best performances can be then replied on a real account, or if you have a real account, you can always have this and then stop the trading and do it manually. But it is quite useful to let it go even if you have some margin that you can handle, because what I've noticed is by my formulation that gives results quite interesting, like this. Normally is getting from a cycle of 1 to 2 days and a half. So what happens if he is still in sell and you are entering, because you're running the algorithm in this area or in this area, you maybe can get a little drawdown for it, because normally the cycle that it's covering, in average, it takes about 1 day and a half, 2 days, or 1 day only. So these things are really something that I have and I want to tune properly, because it takes some time. And of course, there will be also the option, of course, of closing the trades at the end of the day and start the trades at the beginning of a new day, trying to avoid the worst area of trading, which is this one that I'm just entering now, like all the things that you should not do. But just to be clear, this is the actual development of this algorithm that I hope you like. And if you, of course, you have, for example, here, look, this is an accumulation phase. There's nothing that much, and some orders have been placed. Okay, and now I'm still even lower at this point. I have an hedging that is compensating, and I am very curious to see how it's moving further in the next hours and in the next days. There are other positions that are quite better. Of course, we know what markets are doing outside. Is not a regulated market, so there can be a lot of surprises. So it's always good to have a strategy that takes care of the fact that something is going wrong. You can always counterbalance your trade. And of course, it's very important also to have a reliable broker that provides you good quality of data in terms of reliability, in terms of continuity of data. Of course, an ECM broker. And as I received some questions about what broker I'm using, I will post in the description below, hopefully also a link for that if you want to catch a demo and try them. I think they're very nice. And they have also a good customer support, at least for what is my experience. Other questions that I got is that if I can give some hints for how to create algorithms or whatever. At this point, yeah, I can do that, but I strongly suggest you, if you see for the first time this video, or if you're curious about what is behind all this stuff, there are, I think, about 10 videos that I made in where I shared here and there a lot of hours of my personal understanding of the foreign exchange market, which again, I decided by challenge to put it online as a first attempt to connect to people like me that are very interested in the topic, but that they have found more scams than others. This is my personal experience in Forex since years, and really the idea of revolutioning the things and understanding that nowadays algorithmic trading and high frequency trading is taking a big part in the game, providing a lot of surprises and a lot of things that can go wrong every day. To have a strategy that also gives you an idea of the performance of your portfolio and the positions that you're running, how it's developing, if it's time to close or not. This is something that, if can be at least partially automated, can provide good quality of trading, less stress, and if combined with some understanding at the theoretical level, which is always good to have, because I started to build algorithms for myself because I don't trust anything that I cannot understand. And so the very first algorithm in itself is something that has to be understandable by someone who uses it in order to be consistent in time. So all of the stuff that was out there was completely, in my opinion, incomplete, without any kind of top and bottom, just to stay in the topic of the markets, and without any clear understanding. So I developed myself my tools. So at this point, having something very standardized that you think it's going there and it's doing the job for you, this is what I want to realize at the end, and I am at about 85%. So it's something that I'm still using for trading. Normally, I would use this algorithm in itself without the robot and see chart per chart what it's doing, what it's providing me as information, these bars that they have a meaning, and then I will decide a trade. But why, if I'm using some aids and some levels that I am tracing, why this thing can be already done by Metatrader itself, and which is more comfortable then is that I have already generated pending orders. So in real, when, for example, I want to check now, let's say that I've just started my algorithm, the first charts that I will check will be these two, because they are quite close to be injected. So I will go, for example, to the Euro GBP. Where are you? Euro GBP. Okay, and we see here we have another buy limit, and it's very close, but here the situation is quite fine, so I will not touch anything. Another situation, if I have a buy stop and I'm pretty sure it's going up, I will lower that buy stop in order to reduce probably the drawdown. But I need to have a clear understanding of how the price is moving. So the aid of technology must always be compensated and completed with knowledge. Knowledge is the thing that helps you to be more calm and relaxed, and sometimes just keep an eye on and monitoring your work instead of struggling to take decisions. You have to take decisions to get rid of maybe something instead of decide. The software does the thing for you, but it's always good to know how the software takes the decisions, because in the markets we know there are always events, and this is always clear, otherwise won't be that risky, that can compromise a good performance. And if we know, for example, that, as I told you, on certain days it's better to switch off because you already make profits and you don't need to overdo extra, don't be greedy, you take that off because you know that things can happen. But these things you must be acknowledged. The software cannot tell you. It's impossible to create unless you have an unlimited amount of software and computers, and also because at every tick is performing quite a lot of calculations. But then if the results in negative are like this and in positive are like this, to me it's more than fine. At the end, it's the balance that counts and how the performance in itself is running. So after some tests in these previous weeks of optimization, this is the results. These are the results that I can show you, and I would like also to use this time to thank all the new subscribers of the channel, and thank you all for your messages and emails that I'm still receiving. And I am sorry if I'm not replying all the times properly in time, but I am also busy, so I hope you can understand. Always available, for any kind of information you may want, and if you need further developments that you think it's better to have our own personal speech and understand what is your goal or needs, feel free to contact me privately, and you can see the contacts in the description of the video below. All this said, I think I am going to bed because it's quite late and tomorrow is another important day. I hope to have given you enough information by this time, and I will try to make another video in brief, so not to make to pass too much time, but it's also good more to be focused on the results of the algorithm in itself. I think that one video can explain a lot of things, and then the important thing is not that we are doing this for trading and not for saying too much on the video. The other algorithm, let's just check. Yeah, it's always at that area, is not moving that much at this hour, but there are also higher spreads. But anyway, it's quite positive in all the version, even if this version is more enhanced and has some other features that I have added recently. Okay, so thanks for watching. Have a good time as usual. Have a good space. Enjoy, and let's keep in contact for any reason you may want. Subscribe the channel if you think it's wise, and leave a comment or send me an email. Whatever would be appreciated. Bye.